Hey, WNBA Talk, family and friends. It's your host, Jay Irving, with another talk about the WNBA. Hey, I had a WNBA talk the other day, and I said on there that Candace Parker was the greatest WNBA player of all time. I got so much feedback, of course, positive and negative. The positive side, so many people from Chicago say, "Oh yeah, guaranteed." And I think the people from LA just not from LA, but from the Aces, yes, yes, yes. Those two groups of people just seem, yes, Candace Parker the greatest. Some people from other areas said that too, but then I got the other group of people say, "You got to be crazy! What you been drinking? What's going on with you? No way!" And I got people just start firing off list of names of Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Sue Bird, talk about the old people, Cooper and Swoops, and just so many different names they brought up and stuff. I had one guy say, "You really got to check in these two people right here before you can even say that she's even close to being number one." Some people say there's no way she's not even in my top 10. I just had so much feedback. So what I did, it caused me, because one guy really caused me to make want to do a deeper dive. Some of the other people maybe want to do deeper dive, but there's one guy said these two right here, before you can consider CP being the greatest one, you got to look at these two people and stuff. So with that, I said, hold it. Okay, let me do the right thing. Let me go back, do some more research. Because I had put on my post that, yeah, with these numbers that she got right here and this right here, she's the greatest and stuff. And I have to admit, I didn't go deep enough. But I said to myself, let me spend time and go a little bit deeper and find out. So I put together a system to help me determine who's the greatest player in the WNBA all time, not in one area or the next. The WNBA is only 25 years old, so you really only have 2 decades and a half, I guess. And some people say, well, maybe in this decade or maybe in this, I looked at the entire WNBA. So when I say greatest of all time, I'm talking about greatest of all time, 25 years of WNBA play, not a portion here, a portion there. So I'm ranking all time. So not only am I going to tell you who I believe the greatest WNBA player is, I'm going to tell you who my top 16 are. So I'm going to go and I'm going to tell you from 16 all the way down to 1. And let's see if CP comes out number 1 on my list the way I figured it out and the credits I gave people. When I talk about credits, basically what I'm talking about, I gave each player, or I gave the players credit for things that they have achieved. Now, achieve means they had to get some type of award or some type of accolade for it. It's not just somebody's feeling. Say, "Oh, no, I believe this. Well, she did this." Well, hey, if she did it and she got an award for it, then I give them credit for it. So these are the categories I give them credit for. First, I give them credit if they were on a championship team, at least one championship team. I give them credit for that. Other thing, I give them credit for being an MVP. Now, several types of MVPs, so I give them credit for any type of MVP. And the MVPs, of course, are league MVP, finals MVP, and all-star game MVP. So if they got a league MVP, a finals MVP, or all-star game MVP, I gave them credit. I also gave them credit if they happen to be the rookie of the year. If they came in there balling and beat all the rest of the rookies as the best rookie that came in the league, I gave them credit for that. They earned that credit. I also gave them credit for winning a leader award. When I say leader awards, to me, it's 5 of them. Okay? So, and these are different leader awards. If you were the scoring leader for the year, if you're the rebound leader for the year, if you're the block leader for the year, if you're assist leader for the year, or you're the steals leader for the year. So I gave them credit for that. I also gave them credit if they're the defensive player of the year. That means they're working on their defensive end, making sure they guard their basket, whatever they're doing on the defensive end. and they got rewarded as Defensive Player of the Year. I gave them credit for that. I gave them credit for being an all-star. If they worked their butt off all year and got credited to play in the all-star game, I give them credit for that, for achieving that. I gave them one special award, and that special award is basically, I call it the two-way player award. I gave them credit if they got a offensive award and a defensive award. So example would be if they led the league that year, if they got the scoring title one year, and maybe another year they got the assist title. No, my fault. No. They got a scoring title because that's an offensive award, and they got a steal. That's a defensive. So it has to be an offensive and defensive. So if they got a blocking title and they also got the assist title, or if they got, as long as they've got an offensive award and defensive award. Now, again, the way I look at the awards is scoring and assists are offensive titles, rebounds, blocks, and steals are defensive. I do understand there's such thing as offensive rebounds and defensive rebound, but I count that as a defensive award because once you get the ball as defense, I got it on defense, the other team can't use it. We got it now. So because you got that rebound, I consider that defense. So those awards again, scoring leader, rebound leader, blocks leader, assist leader, and steals leader. So I give them credit for that. So basically, that's how I break it down to determine who is the GOAT, if you want to say, all time. Now, I do have 5 players that's on my list that are that type of player, that two-way player that played both ends or got rewarded for playing both ends. And those 5 players are Shamika Holdsclaw, Maya Moore, Lauren Jackson, Cheryl Swoop, and Brittany Griner. Those are the two-way players that I have on my list. So again, I'm going to count from 16 down to 1, and we'll see, according to the system I created, who comes out number 1 and where the other people fall at. Now, something else I have. Because the way I created the system, I have some ties at certain positions. So you're not going to hear every number called out. You'll hear 16 players called out, but not every number because I have some ties, and I'm going to let you know if this is a tie situation. So if they tie, I'm not saying who's better in that. They just tied at that position. And so I'm not differentiating, who's better than who if they tie. Okay. So with that, we're going to get into it and end up, in my opinion, I'm going to share with you who's the number 1 player or who's the GOAT or who's the all-time greatest WNBA player. And what I would like for you to do as I go through my list, I want you to stop and think. I want to say something about that. I'll ask you to comment and let me know how you feel about it. No, I shouldn't have put that person here. I shouldn't have put this person here. But I'm going to share with the accolades they got so they can help you make a decision like it helped me make a decision. Okay? So with that, I'm going to start off. The first player sitting in that number 16 position. Now, in this case, it ends up being the number 12 position because I have some ties in there, but it's actually a 3-way tie sitting right there at the top. They scored the same. So with that first person in that position is Tina Thompson, who played for the Houston Comets. She played with Cheryl Swoops and Cynthia Cooper. They won 4 titles in a row. She came out there with her lipstick on, doing her thing. I love to see her play. One of my favorite players. I have so many favorite players in the WNBA, but I just love some players today, and I love Tina Thompson. I love them winning those 4 championships. So what's some of her accolades that put her in that 16th spot or in this case, the 12th spot tied with two other players. She, of course, I already mentioned, 4-time WNBA champion. I give credit for that. She's a 9-time WNBA All-Star. Give her credit for that. And of course, she was a WNBA All-Star MVP. So she got credit for that. So the first person on my list, Tina Thompson. Next person who's tied with Tina Thompson, Elena Delle Donne. Came in there at that 16th position, in this case, that 12th position. Of course, she plays for the Washington Mystics. Oh, man, I love seeing her play. She has that steady shot. You cannot disrupt her shot for nothing. I don't care what you're doing. She's not paying attention to you whatsoever. She's paying attention to, do I got the right form? Where's that basket? There we go. The shot's off. She's not concerned about you blocking her shot. None of that. She's good around the basket. I love what she does. She actually is, of course, a WNBA champion. She won in 2019 with the Washington Mystics. She's a 2-time WNBA MVP. That's awesome. Best in the league for 2 years. 6-time WNBA All-Star. WNBA Rookie of the Year. So when she came out in her year, for one of the rookies, she came out the best. I like that. And then she is a WNBA scoring champ. I like that. She came out and said, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And she handled her business for that year. The person that tied with them, I said it was a 3-way tie at the top. The next person, A'ja Wilson. Haven't been in the league that long, but she has some things going for her. You know, eventually, I think she's going to overtake everybody for everything. But right now, she's done some good things to put her in that position. Of course, A'ja Wilson, the WNBA champion, she won last year with the Las Vegas Aces, 2-time WNBA MVP. Why am I just hesitating? The girl only been in the league, 5 years? In 2 out of 5 years, she is a WNBA, the MVP for the league. That's something else. That's awesome. You just have to. I just have to give her a clap for that. Also, my goodness, incredible. You know, she won the WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. So in essence, she came out there and said, I'm handling my business. I'm an MVP. Besides that, I don't want y'all to think I only do things on the offensive end. I'm going to show you I can do something on the defensive end. 4-time WNBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year. This one I really like. She's a 2-time blocks leader. 2-time block leader. My goodness, this girl out there balling this stuff. Now, I always, my thing, I just have to tell you, my thing is this. I tried to, figure out, I put out a post or a video before that asks who's the best currently right now between Breanna Stewart and A'ja Wilson. And I end up saying Breanna Stewart. But I'm telling you, that's a real hard decision. And I right now I'm flip-flopping when it comes to that because those two young ladies play some ball. But, A'ja, she just, man, because she gets it in on that defensive end, it's just kind of edging higher for me. But, she comes in tied with Tina Thompson and Elena Delle Donne. The next person is Breanna Stewart. She comes in at the 11th position or in 15th position, whatever you call it. Girl's incredible. I like the fact that she can get the ball out one hoop, take it all the way down to the end and lay it up. But what makes her so special, besides taking it all the way to the other end, she can stop at that 3-point line and fill up that net. So you have to be concerned. What is she going to do? Is she going to stop at the 3-point line or is she taking it all the way to the basket? Incredible player. 2-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP, WNBA MVP, 4-time WNBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year when she came out, and scoring leader for 1 year. That girl plays some ball. I like the way she plays. And again, I have trouble right now trying to figure out, is it her or A'ja Wilson? The the best current player right now. But hey, I know they go back and forth. Last week I said it was Rihanna. You know, the season haven't even started. I'm still having trouble trying to figure out which one's the best. After that is Brianna Stewart's running mate when she was back in Seattle. Now, of course, you know she's in New York. She went to the other coast, so she's a Liberty, you know. But when she was back in Seattle, she had a running mate that happened to retire last year. And so you know who that is? Sue Bird, who played the longest in the WNBA. She comes in the next position, the number 9 position, if you want to say it, or 10th position, whatever you want to call it. But she comes in next. She's a 4-time WNBA champion, 13 times WNBA All-Star. That is a record. She gets it in, and I like that. And then also, she's a 3-time WNBA assist leader. So Sue Bird comes in at 9th position. Who comes in at 8th position? Interesting about this player. And what is it about this player? Up until 2 weeks ago, if you asked me who's the greatest player in the WNBA, I would always say this player. And I've been saying this player for over 10 years. This player. Nobody comes close to her. She is the WNBA's greatest player. You know, Maya came up, Diana came up, you know, all these other players come up. Still, they never for me outdid this player. But when I did the deep dive and I used my scoring system, she comes in the number 8th position. Okay. And that is Cynthia Cooper. Wow, incredible player. You know, the Houston Comets won the first 4 championships. First 4 championships in the WNBA. So she was a 4-time WNBA champion. Guess what? She was a 4-time WNBA Finals in MVP. So they went out there playing championship games. In the finals, she won the MVP. So she had 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs, 2 WNBA MVPs, 3 WNBA All-Star selections, and 3 scoring titles. So she came out there and played some ball. One thing about Cynthia Cooper, she came into the league late, or the league started late. So she was in her 30s when she started. I just believe if she came in like some of the young players coming in now at 22, she'd have had a lot more things under her belt. But can't do anything about when they start the league here. But when she came in there, she handled her business. I have a short amount of time, so I'm going to do what I can do. And she went out there and won 4 championships. Won 4 finals MVP, won some MVPs, playing some All-Star games, and 3 scoring titles. Cheryl Cooper comes in number 8. Who comes in the 7th position? Well, the 7th position is another tie position. It's 2 players that came right there. The first one I have on the list is Lisa Leslie. Ooh, my goodness. That was another name that came up when I happened to mention CP was the greatest player. They say you have to look at Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie did this. Lisa Leslie did this. Lisa Leslie did. Well, one thing we do know about Lisa Leslie, she was the first person who dunked in the WNBA. But what else did she do? I don't give her credit for the dunk. It's just one of those side notes I just want to bring to your attention. But what else did she do? 2-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP. So every time when she was won a championship, she got the Finals MVP. 3 WNBA MVP. So she won the MVP 3 times. 8-time WNBA All-Star. 3-time WNBA All-Star MVP. So she said, if I'm going to the game, I don't want to just come here and walk out here with, besides us winning a little extra, give me a trophy too. You know, so 3 times when she went to the All-Star game out of the 8 times, she won the MVP. Guess what she also did? 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. I like that. I like when they get it on both ends of the court. And she gets it in on both ends of the court. Defensive Player of the Year. That's incredible. This next player I'm going to share with you, who tied with Lisa Leslie, I want her to introduce herself. Okay, so we're gonna let her introduce herself. Okay, and here it is right now. Introduce yourself.
Here is Moore. Good ball fake, cuts between 2, make it a third, and scoops it in with the left hand wizardry from Maya Moore.
To Moore. Maya crossover dribble.
Look at that.
Nice move to the basket. She faked you, Lisa. This move right here just looks, slices between the defense.
Jones feeding Moore, no look over the shoulder, connects with Larkins, who finishes a beautiful play.
To go, Liberty by 1. Moore, quick 3, and it's good. Inbounds to the star, Maya Moore, and she knocks down the 3.
This shot, she
Incredible
barely
play.
took 2 or 3 dribbles, and she's pulling up and taking that tray with confidence.
And you say, why isn't she number 1?
Moore's got to get
I'm
it
going my stories. I'm going my sister. The girl.
The second made basket for Maya Moore tonight.
Seeing her play.
Johnson had the hustle to catch up to it. Maya needs to shoot. Instead, she gave her over to Fouts.
I love watching her when she was in Connecticut and doing what she was doing in Connecticut.
Off of penetration, the help comes. That's the only way Sylvia Fouts has gotten easy looks tonight.
Wow.
3-point lead for Team Parker.
There we go.
Moore. That's a big one.
More.
By Sill. Howard puts it on the deck, drives in, blocked by Maya. Sill
Blocked
comes over to
by
gather
Maya.
the rebound. Moore puts the left shoulder down and takes it strong to the hole.
Kind of your business.
And drains it.
Montgomery coming along at halftime. And great interview with Tabitha. Takeaway here from Maya Moore. Atlanta with its 4th turnover of the game. Moore banks and hits.
Exactly.
Okay.
McCoughtry puts it in on the delivery from Moore.
Chip away at this lead. Yep, 5 of 9 from 3. Minnesota's 1 of 6. But Maya Moore has a chance for a 3-point play.
It's an all.
Hey, and with that, Maya Moore, what is her stats when it comes to my system and everything? Of course, 4-time WNBA champion, WNBA Finals MVP, WNBA MVP, 6-time WNBA All-Star. Now here is where she gets it in. In fact, she's the first one on my list. I kind of mentioned my list of a 2-way player. She was a WNBA steals leader, WNBA scoring leader, and rookie of the year. So that says to me she gets it in on both ends of the court. So she's a steals leader, man. You put that ball down around her or try to pass it to somebody or something like that, it can be swiped. She's going to swipe that ball. She's going to get that ball. I like them playing both ends of the court. And she played both ends of the court. Really hate that, just a personal thing. She did what she had to do. And I love that her taking care of humanity and stuff like that. But, just a little bit of selfish, I guess, if you want to say, I would love to see her play some more. But I know what she did was more important than dribbling the ball and stuff. So she handled business, taking care, helping somebody out. And I that's awesome. That is awesome. So I'm not complaining about that, but I think deep down, we all would have loved to see a little bit of more hoop out of her. Okay. Then I don't know if I. Okay. So Maya Moore, I mentioned her. A player, I may have went out. I hope I didn't go out of order. And I mentioned after, and I think I did, and I apologize for that. But what I'm going to do is so you'll know where this person fits in. I had is Tina Thompson, Elena Deladon, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart. Right after Brianna Stewart, I said Sue Bird, but actually, right after Brianna Stewart, the next person is Shamiqua Holesclaw. I forgot to put her in there. Of course, she played in an earlier decade and stuff like that. Girl handled her business. Excuse me, young lady handled her business. I really like the way she played and stuff. She was a 6-time WNBA All-Star. A Rookie of the Year, 2-time WNBA rebound champion, and WNBA scoring champion. So she was actually the first one on my list that's a two-way player. So she handled herself on the rebound, she handled herself scoring. So Shamiqua Holesclaw came in there. So again, it's Tina Thompson, Elena Deladon, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Shamiqua Holesclaw, Sue Bird, Cynthia Cooper, Lisa Leslie, and then Maya Moore. Okay, so now that we caught up and I got the people in the right position, the next person on the list is this happened to be the player that's kind of stirred up all the dust. Wow. She didn't stir up all the dust. I kind of stirred up a little dust by saying she was the number one greatest player in the league, and it gave her credentials and stuff. Well, the way things worked out, some people mentioned, other people should have been ahead of her. There's no way she should have been first. Well, after I did my scoring system, I have to admit, yes, she did drop down. She dropped down considerably. She actually dropped out of the top 5, which some people say she wasn't in their top 5. Some people would say she wasn't in their top 10. Well, she is in the top 10. She is in the top 10, but she did drop down, to this next position, number 6 position, and that is Candace Parker. So now it's all right for me to see if I made a mistake. And like I said, I just had to do a deeper dive. And once I did a deeper dive, I see that I made a mistake. Okay, no problem. We're going to keep going. But yes, she dropped down to number 6. But I'm going to tell you something. Even though she dropped down to number 6, that girl's a bad girl. Let's listen to her credentials. So you're like, hey, yeah, you're wrong. She dropped down. But when you still, like I did, I had presented her credentials in the past. Now, when I said she was who she was, her credentials haven't changed. So it's not like, I said that she was number 1 and then and her credentials changed. No, her credentials didn't change. Basically, once I looked at everything, other people, I saw other people and what they brought to the table, and I used my scoring system, and they jumped ahead of her. So this is what Candace brings to the table. Just like I mentioned before, she's a 2-time WNBA champion, WNBA Finals MVP, 2-time WNBA MVP. Now I'm going to drop down to something for a particular reason. She was a WNBA Rookie of the Year. Why am I mentioning that? Why did I mention it right after I mentioned the fact that she's a 2-time WNBA MVP? Because she's the only person who ever did this, and that is Rookie of the Year and League MVP. She came in as a rookie and won the MVP over all those veterans in the league. That girl bad. That girl, and nobody else has done that. That girl's incredible by doing that. So I'm like, hold it. Now, I didn't give her credit for that. She got individual credit, got the credit for the MVP, got the credit for the rookie of the year, but I didn't give her special credit because she did that. But I'm just mentioning that. That girl's a bad girl. Other things she's done, 7-time WNBA All-Star, WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, I just think that's incredible. So other things she did, WNBA All-Star Game MVP, 3-time WNBA Rebound Leader. Incredible. 2-time WNBA Blocks Leader. That's why when I looked at that, I said nobody else has done that. But I wasn't digging enough. And that's all right. I blame myself for not digging enough. But that's some incredible stats. Incredible. But let me go on, because the next person I want to come over the list, I want her, like I had Maya Moore introduce herself. I want this young lady to introduce herself also. Okay? So let's get in and let you see what she can do on the court and introduce herself.
Rossi flips it. Griner finishes. Eddie the floater is short. Got it back. Tarasi will try a three. And hit from downtown. 3 on 2. Eddie finds Tarasi. A three is good.
That girl
Diana
can
Taurasi
shoot the
ties
ball.
it at 54. Tarasi around
that
the
girl
Griner
can shoot
screen.
the
Little
ball.
acceleration finds Griner on the roll for
There
2.
you go. But, I mean,
Tarasi on the
sometimes
other
she
end,
gets
10
hot,
for 3.
man. And oh my goodness. You be
Tarasi.
like, come
The
on,
step
please.
back is good.
Stop hurting me like that.
Score has 13.
Defensively missed the shot.
Incredible. I just love the way she plays. I love her
There she
tenacity.
goes.
I
Underneath,
love
she
the
was
fact she
alone
won't
for a
back down.
second. Nurse.
Won't back down from
If
anybody.
she sets her feet, it's going in.
That's anybody. She don't back down from the
Screen from
rest.
Griner.
Oh
She
my
didn't have hardly any room to
goodness,
shoot that.
Diana
It didn't
Taurasi
matter.
can play some
Her
ball.
big time in the finals.
And you say,
Taurasi,
she can
put
play
her
so
in the
much
game.
ball like you said.
Put the
Why
ball
is she in the
in the
position
bucket.
she's
Get
in?
it out for the second
Position
straight
she's in.
game. What a
Because
terrific
of the
pass.
system I put together to help me determine who's the best
Taurasi.
player. He
That's
falls in the
great
5th
best
position.
in these moments. Playoff situations.
So she's in the fifth
Just
position. You're
scored her
like,
first
well,
points in
man,
the
who
second
is in
half. Well,
front of
this is
her?
a 6-0
Because
Asia
you done
Wilson
put.
run for Vegas.
Goodness.
Doubling up the bench
Let's
points
see.
for the entire
Let's see.
Phoenix team. Diana Taurasi now from court.
Diana Taurasi.
All eyes
Oh,
on the
that girl
39-year-old
plays a lot.
superstar. Gets it to the other superstar. Taurasi. So good.
Well, what that tells me is that Bill Laimbeer is not happy with the trapping of his team on Brittany Griner. He would rather play her straight up and stay out of rotation.
Able to get it away from Liz Cambage. Taurasi.
Last one, Taurasi. So Taurasi's introduced herself to you, let you know what's going on in her life.
Taurasi.
We're going to get back into it.
17 points
So we
in the first
count down to his number one position.
I spoke with Brittany Griner.
Last one for Diana. There you go, Diana. Appreciate that. And like I say, she brings a lot to the table. So what does she have? 3 WNBA championships, 2 WNBA Finals MVP, WNBA League MVP, 10-time WNBA All-Star. Of course, when she came out, she got the Rookie of the Year. She handled her business when she was at UConn, so she came into the league handling her business. It's to be expected. 5-time WNBA scoring champion. Of course, she leads the league in scoring, and nobody's catching her. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you shoot. I don't care what you do. Enrique's not catching her. Whoever's next, they not catching. Nobody's catching her. So, but that's understandable. She has 5 WNBA scoring titles. And she also got a assist title. So she wasn't just shooting all the time. 1 year she got an assist title. That's Diana Taurasi. DT. I had a lot of people just saying, no, it's Diana. It's Diana. I understand what you're saying. I see the work she put in. I appreciate it. And so I'm not a Diana Taurasi hater. I mean, I'm a Diana Taurasi lover because I like that tenacity, that fire, that I'm not backing down. And again, not to anybody. I'm not even backing down from the refs. Okay, and some people don't like it because of that. That's all right. Next person. I don't know if you're going to be surprised or not, but the next person on my list in that, when I look at this, is the 5th position because I have a tie coming up. But in that, I say 4th position because of the tie situations up. But that next person, Sylvia Fowles. Can you believe that? I got her ahead of Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Candace Parker. Wow. That's all right. But she put in some work. Sylvia Fowles handled her business. 2-time WNBA champion. 2-time WNBA Finals MVP. WNBA MVP. 8-time WNBA All-Star. 4-time. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. That girl handled her business on the defensive end. I'm gonna tell you, I'm really a big fan of the 3-point shooting. I'm a real big fan of 3-point shooting. But it's 2 other things I really like a lot. And that's somebody getting it in on the defensive end. I love to see a steal. I love to see a block shot. I love somebody saying, no, get that back. You're not putting that up in there. Or somebody ripped it. That's why like I said, my favorite player is Veronica, not my favorite player, but a player I like a lot for the Dallas Wings, Veronica Burton. She's a rookie last year. She was ripping some balls last year. She's going to rip some balls this year. But I like that because that defense come in there and just disrupts everything. That steal disrupts everything. So she is 4-time Defensive Player of the Year and 3-time Rebound Champion. So she gets up, get that ball. Let's go. Either she's putting it back up in the rim or she's passing down the court to get something going on the other end. So Sylvia Fowles comes in as the 4th position. The person who comes in at 3rd position, and my little wonky counting here, Lauren Jackson. Lauren Jackson comes in that position. And what does she have to, what kind of records does she have, or accolades or awards does she have? 7-time WNBA All-Star, 3 times WNBA MVP, handling her business, 2-time WNBA champion. So she won some championships. I know other ones, I'll put that first. But yeah, I didn't forget it. She won some championships. 3-time WNBA scoring champion. So she's putting the ball back in the hoop. She scored the ball. This is one of my, again, I mentioned at the beginning, I have 5 people that's on this list as a 2-way player. She's a scoring champion. She also rebound champion. Yes, sir. Rebound champion. Also WNBA Finals MVP. And also she won a Defensive Player of the Year. So she was handling her business when she was on the court on both ends. I like that 2-way player. Giving it to you on both ends. Not that one is just running down, scoring, scoring. You come down on this end, I'm rebounding the ball, you're not getting it back. I'm blocking it. I'm doing something. I'm handling my business to the point they give me a Defensive Player of the Year award. Lauren Jackson. Who's next? Well, when I look at my list, I say the number 2 position. I'm just going to tell you. Now, this player right here, that young man that was kept egging me and saying, you need to check out these two players. You got to check out these players before you say Candace Parker is the number one player. This is one of the players he told me I had to check out and look into her credentials and before I said CP. Well, you can see right now because I already called Candace Parker and I'm getting ready to call her that when I looked at it, he was right. She's ahead of Candace. So a couple of steps ahead of Candace because Candace was, I had Lauren Jackson, Sylvia Fowle, Deanna Ross, then Candace. So she's like 4 positions ahead of Candace now. So I'm happy he told me to. It's one of the reasons it made me go and dig deeper and stuff like that. So I'm happy he said something to make me do this whole process. But this person is Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops from the Houston Comets. I realize now I just didn't dig deep. I know she was handling her business on the court, but I just didn't check out her records. That's all right. I'll kick myself for that, but that's all right. I went and checked it out, and I said, oh, did I put this system together, and she fell to that position ahead of Candace? Okay. So what did Cheryl bring to the table? Let's see. 4 WNBA championships. Well, of course, Houston won the first 4. She was on those teams, so she got it. 6 times WNBA All-Star. A WNBA All-Star MVP award. So she said, hey, one of these times I'm going to go, I want to bring some more hardware back than some extra cash. So she brought that back. She actually also won Defensive Player of the Year. You say, I knew that. You just the one that act like, CP's better than everybody. I knew that. Well, yeah, she won that. She won that Defensive Player of the Year. She also won the league MVP one year. That's awesome. But guess what else this young lady did? You probably say, we know that. You just was slacking on your job. That's all right. That's all right. She also won. She was a scoring champion one year. Not only was she a scoring champion one year, she was a steals champion one year. So this is another one of those on my list. That's a two-way player handling her business on both ends of the court. So on one end, she's scoring the ball, winning the championship. Then she's going to rip the ball and go score again on you by stealing it. My goodness. And then the defensive player of the year. That's some pretty nice stats right there. Where you're a scoring champion, steal champion, defensive player of the year, all-star MVP, league MVP. Boy. Girl handle her business. I got to give it to Cheryl Swoops coming in that position. You know what? I'm down to the last 2. And I know you probably wonder who is these last 2 because he done called off Maya Moore, Dan Taurasi, Candace Parker, Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper. Holy, you done called off all the people. There's nobody left, but I know there's some more people left. Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird. I done called off all those people. Well, you know what? In my system that I came up with, you know what? I end up a tie in the number 1 slot. That's the one position I really did not want to end up with a tie. But that's the way it came out. So I'm not going to end up with one person as the GOAT. Man, I hate that. But let's get to it. Let's see who these 2 people are that in my system come up as the GOAT of the WNBA. The first one, yes, is our friend who took a year off because she was jailed in Russia, being detained. So I'm just wondering where she would have been if she would have had that other year? Would she have accomplished another accolade that put her in the ahead of everybody? I don't know. All I know, I'm going with what she has, and that's BG. You like, what? Hey, you got BG in the number one slot as a GOAT over all those other players? Man, you must be real crazy. Just the system I use that helped me figure it out, and I'm sticking with it. I'm not going and doing no other more deep dive. This is it. BG, here's her accolades. Of course, we know she's a WNBA champion, 8-time WNBA All-Star. BG, 2 scoring titles. She's led the league in scoring twice. Now you like, wait, she's 6'8", you 6'8", 6'9", she's up there at the rim. But not everybody scoring like that that's big. I remember a guy when I was in high school. I'm not going to call his name because he ended up playing in the NBA. I think he was 7 foot. Yep, he was 7 foot. Couldn't play ball worth nothing. Played on other teams. Other teams was dunking on him, doing all kind of things. He didn't. I think he probably like point something a game. Couldn't do anything. So just because you tall don't mean you have the eye and hand coordination, any skill to put the ball in the basket. So I'm not, just because she tall don't mean that she has the skills, but she has the skills enough to win the scoring title twice. What else did she bring to the table? 8-time. Do you hear me? 8-time WNBA block champion. You said she should be blocking shots. Same thing. You need to have a good eye and hand coordination. You need to be able to do that without fouling somebody. But she led the league 8 times in blocking. So, of course, you know, that makes her one of those two-way players. One that can play on the offensive end and the defensive end. Now, those two categories that I'm mentioning right there, blocking, I'm not going to let you score. Then I'm going to go down to the other end and score. Scoring leader 2 times, 8-time block leader. Get that out of here. I love that. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. And you know what? She's also been the defensive player of the year twice. I like that. I know I keep saying I like that, but just imagine that. You know, she has the skills to be able to defend what she's doing. Put herself in a position to help that team. That's awesome. I'm going to have to also admit something. BG is one of my favorite players. So when she got detained, I was really hurt. Now, my favorite team, as you see up there, is the Wings. I'll let y'all know that. But I have some favorite players out there, and one of them being BG. I like the way I want BG. You know, at one point in time, I think it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago, I was just hoping that the Wings would figure a way to package some of their draft pick and put it with one of their players and get BG because she was a free agent and stuff like that. And of course, they didn't. But I got to keep going. I'm really a team player first, then an individual player. So as we lose players, because my favorite player in the WNBA, I mentioned before, is Alicia Gray. That hurt me that she ended up leaving, but I understand that's business. I'm a Dallas Wings fan, so I'm still with the team. I'm not mad at them. I'm not upset. I'm gonna keep going because I think they made some awesome moves this year. But BG, awesome credentials. I like the two-way player that she is. And who tied with her? Wow. The person who tied with her. If you want to say, you know, because some people divide the WNBA and talk about this decade and that decade and stuff like that. Just so happened that the way it worked out, I got one player in this decade, BG. The other player is in the previous decade. And that is Tamika Catchings comes out to tie for the number one position with BG. Now, some of y'all are more acceptable of her being number one than you are of BG. But they tied, and that's where they end up. BG's well earned. But what accolades and award did Tamika Catchings get? Well, she's a WNBA champion. We know that. She won that with the Indiana Fever. WNBA Finals MVP when they played that. She was in that final. She won the MVP. She was a WNBA MVP. You know that. 10 times WNBA All-Star. 5 times. Okay. 5 times. Let me slow down just a little bit. Only because I like this one award a lot. I have to admit that. And that award is a WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. I just mentioned that Brittany Griner won it twice. I don't know how much you was paying attention, but Sylvia Fowles won it 4 times. Do you know that Tamika Catchings won the Defensive Player of the Year in the WNBA 5 times? You talking about handling her business on that end of the court? She handled her business. I like that. She's out there doing what she needs to do to help that team win on the defensive end of the court. 5 times WNBA Defensive Player of the Year. She also, check this out. Oh my goodness. 8 times WNBA Steals Leader. Put that ball in the air. Try to pass it. Try to bounce it around her. Do something like that. 8 times she won the steals title. I can't believe they didn't win the championship more with her. But you got to have players around you. Well, 8 times steals leader. And, of course, she was a Rookie of the Year. So she handled her business. I believe she earned that spot. In my thing, it kicked CP out of that number 1 spot. Some people jumped ahead of her. But Tamika Catchings handled her business and won that number 1 spot along with BG. Now, I have to give this credit. This was the other player that young man said to me, you got to check out those 2 players. And I mentioned to you, one of them was Cheryl Swoop. The other was Tamika Catchings. And I kind of pushed Tamika Catchings off to the side. I said, I can see Cheryl Swoop, but I don't see Tamika until I start digging and I start doing everything I was doing. And Tamika Catchings comes out number 1, tied with BG on my list. So I give credit to that young man. I'm going to let him know that, I'll communicate with him and let him know, hey, yep, I was wrong. When I start doing my research, Tamika Catchings comes out number 1, tied with BG, and number 2 comes out Cheryl Swoop. So they're the top 2 players in the league, or top 3, in the league compared to what I did. And he was right. And I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. I really enjoyed putting this together and doing all of this. I hope you enjoyed it. I really, really desire to hear your input. I would love to hear your comments about what was said and what when it came to this list. I do know people going to disagree with it because when I put CP up there, I had so many people hollering out DT and Maya Moore and Cynthia Cooper and who else did they holler out? Oh, some people holler out Sue Bird. A lot of people didn't holler out the newer players like Breanna Stewart and Asia Wilson. But I do believe by the end of both of their careers, both of their careers, that they will end up being the GOAT for the league. They'll surpass in a lot of people's minds Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, CP, and a lot of them. Asia Wilson has those skills. Breanna Stewart has those skills. But I would love to hear your opinion. Share your comments and what do you think about what I did and the results of it. And still, Tell me what your thoughts are. Now, if your thoughts are just based off I really like that player, I know I'm not going to do anything to change your mind, or you're not going to change your mind. I'm not really looking for you to change your mind. I'm just trying to give you some information to use to help make a more Okay, I think we lost contact. We're back on. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but just ending up here. My number one slot came out to be Tamika Catching, Brittany Griner. They tied for number one. Number two is Cheryl Swoops. Then Lauren Jackson, Sylvia Fowles, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker, Maya Moore, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Elena Deladon, and Tina Thompson. I know I read that wrong. And what I read is after Sue Bird is actually Shamiqua Holesclaw, then Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Elena Deladon, Tina Thompson. I'm going to read that again if you want to hear it. And that is, again, I had a tie at number one. I hate I didn't have just an overall just number one, but my tie at number one was tied at Tamika Catchings, Brittany Griner, then it was Cheryl Swoops, Lauren Jackson, Sylvia Fowles, Diana Taurasi, Candace Parker. I had a tie at the number 7 position between Maya Moore and Lisa Leslie. Then I had Cynthia Cooper, Sue Bird, Shamiqua Holesclaw, Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Elena Deladon, and Tina Thompson tied in my last position. You're going to call it the 11th position or 16th position. They tied. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. I enjoyed spending this time with you. I really appreciate you watching my videos. I ask you please subscribe and like my videos, and I really love for you to make a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are concerning the videos and who's your GOAT and what your rankings are. With that, I'm signing off again. It's Jay Irvin with WNBA Talk. Love talking to your family and friends. Y'all have a nice evening. And just I'm going to read my last thing, and that is again my tie Tamika Catchings and Brittany Griner with Cheryl Swoop bringing up the rear.